What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you're tuned in from. Welcome to the BitLab Academy daily stream. This first stream today, we're only going to do a very quick, about 5 to 7 minute video. I'm going to be breaking down some of the things going on with Bitcoin and an indicator that's suggesting that we are really in a topping zone of this bullish impulse we've had this year, and a crash is in the cards. A crash is in store. But I labeled it on here, the bullish crash. Why is this a bullish crash? Well, I'm going to get into that in a second. My name's Kellam. Welcome to the show. You can find all my information right there. I'm going to keep this short and sweet because this is a to-the-point video. If you haven't yet, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell, get involved with our community. I still cannot believe over 60% of the people that watch us on a daily basis, out of the thousands of views, only about 60% of you are subscribed. So join our community. Now, we're going to dive right into it. What we're going to be talking about today specifically is Bitcoin and why I think that we have a pullback in the cards. I've been talking about this with other indicators and other charts and other patterns, but I want to show you something that makes it very clear that it's with this indicator set. It's a very popular free indicator. Any of you can use if you have TradingView. Shows that we have topped out in a sort of region here and that we are due for a very likely pullback that would ultimately result in really being a very strong bullish spring to really press those prices higher. So let's jump right on into it. So here is Bitcoin. Let me go ahead and minimize this on the right. Again, if you have not subscribed to the channel, if this is your first time here, I can guarantee you it's not going to be your last time. And I want to just reemphasize, I will be going live at 3 p.m. Eastern time today. I have a meeting that I have to do right after this. So if you have not subscribed, join our family here. Now, minimizing this, just looking at this price action, I'm looking at the 4-hour chart. We have basically two different chart patterns, opportunities here. We have this sort of rising wedge right here, and then we have this rising wedge right here, both rising wedges. What do rising wedges do? Rising wedges break to the downside typically. Where are we at right now? We're right on support. Does this mean we're going to break down now? No, nothing that I'm about to say means it has to happen. I'm just showing you where some of the probabilities are kind of stacking in favor of so that we can make sure we're making the smartest trades and being profitable in our venture in this crypto asset ecosystem. So looking at this, look at this massive spike here on the BitLab Trend Fuel right here. Massive spike, sell off or reduction of momentum, I should say. Smaller spike right here. See these two zones right here, this high and this high? This is a higher high. Look how much lower this momentum, this underlying energy, this underlying data set that shows the activity behind the scenes is driving. This is the car. This is the driver. This is the fuel. You see this, a lot less fuel, and it somehow got higher. Would you expect it to go higher after that? No, this is known classically as a bearish divergence. And we also got on the BitLab trading stack, we got a bearish signal right here. We also got one right here. This did have a little bit of a pullback following this. Come up right here, we have a trend shift indicator right here at this peak, sell off strong. Similarly, right here, high, higher high, high, lower high, bearish divergence again. It's even marked out with a red line here on the BitLab Trend Fuel. If you take my face off, you can see what I'm talking about. This is a BitLab Trend Fuel. We will be rolling this out with everybody that currently has a membership to the BitLab Trading Stack or the BitLab Pro, which also has the BitLab indicators. You're going to be having you're going to have access to this very, very, very shortly, within the matter of about 10 days. So, but what we can see right here, less fuel, somehow higher. What happens? We got the trend shift, boom, down. Got a bullish symbol right here, a little buy, basically relief buy, boom, right here, comes back down. We got a bearish signal right here, sell off right into this level of support that we have identified from these two zones. Boom, boom. We also got a little bit of a trend reversal signal right here, which preceded coming right into the support. We bounced right off of this, got rejected here. Man, why didn't we get all the way up to here? This is what led me to draw another line. Whatever lines you draw, it doesn't mean they are the only lines. It doesn't mean it's the only areas of interest. It doesn't mean it's going to account for everything going on in the market. So in this case, I drew 1, 2, 3, projected out. This is the first spot that it touches. So this is where I drew the line to. We had a deviation above it, sure, but we quickly lost this, got rejected, rejected again, rejected, rejected, rejected. seems like a pretty confluent line for us to be paying attention to. Now, this is not the indicator set that I was talking about to identify what I mean by a bullish crash coming. Why bullish? Why crash? How could a crash be bullish? Because if we're looking at bullish price action likely coming, especially with where we're at in the 4-year cycle, then anything that pulls back and finds support anywhere above any key levels. In this case, I would say we find, some people would argue we could come all the way down here into the $20,000 region. I think that would be a little bit excessive, but it's very possible. Really anything that we do that is a higher high from this macro low here, sorry, a higher low. If we get anything above this pulls back anywhere in this region, this technically on the macro scale would be ultimately bullish, especially leading into what's coming up. We all know, we're all waiting for coming into 2024, 2025, and that is the halving, as well as a lot of the ETF decisions final terminal date, which is just before the halving. So we've got a lot of stuff in the cards for Bitcoin we got to pay attention to. So the thing I wanted to show you here is pulling up the Elliott wave. And if we pull up the Elliott wave, these usually move in 5 impulses. So if we go from the bottom of the impulse 1 to the top of this impulse, that's 1, that's 2, that's 3 to the top here, that's 4 to the bottom here, and this is 5. So if Elliott wave theory works in 5 impulses, the push, the pullback, the push, the pullback, the push, then this would suggest that we have locally topped with this bullish impulse to the upside that happened throughout the first half of 2023. So where do we go from here? Well, what you do from here is you take a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you come over here and you take an ABC. Where's my ABC? And then now you take from this top, you take a pullback down, then you take some sort of impulse to the upside, which is most likely going to be under this. It's going to be a lower high from this portion here. So we can say, you can just guess. So let's say at the lows of this sort of range right here, which is right around where all these orange lines are, we can do this up into here. That's the B. So this was A, this was a B, and then the C is somewhere down into this region. It can be anywhere from here. It could be, let me go ahead and mute the BitLab volume. It could be here. It could be, further down. The point being, it's going to lose, most likely going to lose this level. Now, this is on support. Why are we betting on it losing support? Well, if we know our patterns and our structures on charts, when you have a rising wedge, they tend to have a high propensity, a high hit rate, a high likelihood, a high probability of breaking to the downside. This is compressing to the upside, meaning each time it's pushing up, it's getting smaller and smaller, or reduction in momentum of the bulls over time to the upside, AKA the bullish strength is waning into this move to the upside. They're losing stamina, losing steam. So at some point, you'd like to see a corrective wave to the downside, which, as we know, will most likely, based on every cycle in the history of Bitcoin, resolve from here to do what we all want to see, which, let's go ahead and zoom out on this, which we all want to see is something like this. Now, it's not going to go up and away in a straight line just like that, but once we zoom out and clear all the noise and we look at, maybe the monthly chart or something like that, that's what it's going to look like. We're going to have this large, just think of this like 2019. We had the large impulse from $3,500 up to $13,800, and then a large correction all the way back down to about $3,700. So this is, and then we had 2015 cycle where you just kind of inched up. I think it's kind of a little bit of a combination of the two, where we did get an impulse, but we didn't get anywhere near as high of an impulse with the bullish initiative we've had the first half of this year like we did in 2019. In order to have achieved that, we would have had to have take a Fibonacci retracement. We would have had this impulse top out somewhere up here in the $48,000, $49,000 range. This is a golden pocket. Because if we look, if we come over here, if we zoom out right here and we see, let's go ahead and turn off all the lines. We could see option F actually. From the top here, we go to the bottom and look at this. This is the top, bottom. This is just the emotionality of the market cycle I have from before, so you can ignore that. But the point is, the top here, bottom here, we could see that the price action The price action, look at this, pushed right up where? Golden pocket. These two little lines. Now, when we look where we're at right now, we didn't make it anywhere near that. And similarly, when you look at the 2015 cycle, it made it nowhere near that for months later as to where we're at in the cycle. So looking at this using the Elliott wave indicators, we got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the local top based on this indicator set. It's a tried and true method with people who've been using in traditional markets and crypto, depending on people have different strategies, different things that they utilize. But in this case, we want to utilize as many different tools and strategies as possible. And in this case, we can see, and I measured it out yesterday, this impulse was much larger than this impulse. The inverse of that is this impulse, the bullish strength here, doesn't carry as much momentum as this one. This bullish strength here doesn't carry as much momentum as the one before it. So AKA, we're seeing not only the impulses have weakening bullish effect to the upside, but we can also just look generally at the price action. We can see that this generally is what we know as rounding. Rounding behavior in price action suggests waning momentum, suggests a shift of trend is likely in the cards. So all things considered, rising wedge tends to break bearish. We're on support. That's where you break bearish from, is support. Rounding top tends to indicate some sort of corrective action to the downside, whether it's a full capitulation down or just a corrective wave down. Either way. So price action is suggesting rollover. It's already trying to roll over. The rising wedge, bearish structure, suggesting high likelihood of pullback. And then we also have the Elliott wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've hit this local top, which is also regionally. Look at these zones. We could not get through this with the biggest news in the history of Bitcoin, BlackRock getting involved with Bitcoin. We could not break through this level. So all things considered, I think this ABC correction down is a very, very high likelihood. The question's going to be, at what level is this C wave going to come down to? Now we have, at the end of this week, the first Bitcoin ETF decision or delay that's in the cards, ARK Invest. Based on everything that Gary Gensler said, all of his actions, how expedient he has been, let's laugh at that because it's anything but. All cards are pointing to a delay in the ARK Invest ETF. So it's taking some of the wind out of the sails. This is the sales right here. The biggest news in history, BlackRock getting involved, saying that they're doing a spot ETF application, and then telling everybody live on national television, finance television, saying, hey guys, Bitcoin is a great international asset. It's going to transcend traditional investments, traditional currencies. Incredible. So if this only got us to here and the speculative nature could not get us above this hump, and now we have our first ETF decision coming up at the end of this week. We're likely going to get a delay that's taking some of the wind out of the sails. And then we have September 1st, September 2nd with Bitwise and BlackRock. Those decisions likely will be a delay as well. But as we're sitting here, we want to look at this. Let's come down to the 1 hour chart. We want to look at this and say, oh, but we're pumping. Kelly, we are pumping. We're going to the moon. Are we pumping? Yes, we have a bullish impulse to the upside. Look at this. We had this bearish signal right here. Oops. We had this bearish signal right here. Bearish signal. And this flashed before we even got anywhere near the previous high of this range. To me, all signs are pointing to down. This is bullish. This is bullish. This is bullish. In the short time frame, yes, trade the bearish price action if you want to. But when I'm looking at the markets, when I'm involved in crypto, when I'm involved in Bitcoin or Ethereum or AVAX or Cardano or Quant or Engine or Injective or AGIX, I want to know where the hell these prices are going in the next bull market. Because if I think they're going anywhere near the levels that any of the data sets suggest that they should be going, then I should be incredibly bullish for any opportunity if the price action follows all the different things I just pointed out with indicators, with the chart patterns, with volume, momentum, all the things that are suggesting the price action rolling over, suggesting that we'll likely get a better opportunity lower. That's why this is bullish. So that's all I got for you in this video. I love you all. I appreciate you all. I've got to run to another meeting. Make sure you tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern time here on BitLab Academy. If you haven't yet, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell, join us here in our community. Again, hit that like button, and I will see you all at 3 p.m. and we will get this going. I'm going to be breaking down a bunch of new strategies, basically a simple guide anybody can use, whether you're a beginner, whether you're a pro, so that you can dominate these charts, identify patterns, set the right levels, and make sure that you're always in the right position. With that, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Adios. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for always tuning in to BitLabAcademy.com. Hit that like button, sucker.